Hello and good morning, YouTube. This is Derek, or Leica 101, and welcome to the first Pathfinder review of my channel. We're going to start things off with the Harrow Deck, a divination deck and card game. So, for those of you who don't know, in the Pathfinder campaign setting of Galarian, there is a race called the Varisians, who are a traveling people, and they are very much mystical and believe heavily in spirits. So there is a prestige class called the Harrower that functions on the use of the Harrow Deck. What harrowing is it's exactly what the deck or the box said, a divination deck. It's a looking into the future. And what this product is allows you to really bring forth something that makes the harrower come more alive, or to include harrowing and looking more towards into the future into your game. I know that the Pathfinder Adventure Path, Curse of the Crimson Throne, involves harrowing, and I believe it opens in the first section. It has a section where they actually talk about harrowing in depth. So I went ahead and purchased this product to see if I could maybe involve harrowing in my campaigns, in my own campaign setting. So first things first, what are we getting when we purchase the Harrow Deck? We are getting the little rulebook. It's really small, so be aware of this. It's not some massive rulebook, but it is pretty thick. It's kind of hefty. It's about 38 pages, and we get 5 cards. These are blank cards and little reference sheets. We'll talk about those in a second. Then we get the actual Harrow Deck itself, a deck of 54 cards. Now, I'm going to take a second and show you some of the artwork on the front of these, and it's really great artwork. I'm going to try to get rid of the glare. There we go. It's the dance. And then Brass Dwarf. Sorry about the glare. It's actually really sunny today, and the windows are directly across from me, so. But yeah, so let's just quickly throw up a couple more of these, and I'll do my best not to drop them. So there we go. What else do we got? Ooh. The Foreign Trader and the Eclipse. So the artwork on these is really great on the front. Now, my only problem with this deck so far that I've looked at is the backside. Now, if I was going to use these as a in-game tool, I was really hoping for something that would feel mystical and otherworldly and take the players out of their sense of actually playing a game and more make it come alive for them. And I was hoping that the backside would be something a little better than what they put on. So here's another one real quick, just so you get a taste for it. It's a nice, the crows photo on the front. But this is the back. Yeah, that's the back. That's the same cover that they put on the box, right there. Right here. I mean, come on, Paizo, you could have done something, right? I mean, look at all this artwork you put into front of each card. Maybe make something a little nicer for the back, make it so I could use this for a game and promote realism a little bit better. That's my only fallback with the deck. The artwork is great. Each card is individually done. It looks incredible every time. We've got some really great stuff in here. It really has a distinct Pathfinder Paizo feel. It's just great on this side, but the other side, just not so much. So, let's get into the mechanics a little bit. How does a harrow work? Well, when you do a harrow, you take the cards and you'll have them shuffled. Each card represents one of the different ability scores. I'll show you right here the 6 abilities. Hammer represents strength, intelligence is by a book, dexterity key, wisdom is that nice pointed star. We've got charisma right here with a crown, and constitution with a shield. So in order to start a harrow, your players ask a question that you then determine as the DM what kind of card it would be. So let's take, for example, strength card. So let's say, am I going to best my foe in a duel and come out and because I'm the stronger player or the stronger character or person? And then so what you do is each person that's involved in the Harrow, you look through the deck, and you'll notice right here, there's the key right there. And every card has another one. Here's the book on the foreign trader. And each one of these is represented. There's the shield for Constitution. And you go through and you pull out all the strength cards. You then shuffle those strength cards and then present them to your player who wants to be part of the Harrow. And then they choose that one of those strength cards and then looks at it, and then you tell them that this is their card. This is the card that if it shows up is most keyed to them in their destiny. And you then shuffle all those cards into the deck and you lay out the cards. You lay out the cards in a grid of 3 and then by 3. So it looks like something like this. So 3 by 3 every time. And each card represents something when you flip it over. Cards are going to be, when you put them up, I'm using this little grid card because this is what you can use, and I'll tell you about this in a second. Actually, let me see, there should be another one. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, it's okay. Here it is. Here we go. Each one represents one of the alignments. So, starting from the top, you've got lawful good. Then going down, you've got lawful neutral, then lawful evil, and then neutral good, neutral, neutral evil, chaotic good, chaotic neutral, chaotic evil, from left to right, or from top to bottom, and then left to right. And then each one of these represents an event: a positive event across the top, a unclear event in the middle, and then a negative event in the bottom. The left column represents past, the middle row represents the present, and the far side represents the future. So with each one of those, what you do as a DM is you set up within the course of your campaign, you pick moments based on the cards. Each card has a particular meaning that is detailed in the rulebook. So here we have the cricket, and the location on each card of the particular symbol. Here we have the key, which is wisdom, I believe. And I can check that real quick. Yeah, here we are. Oh, excuse me, it's dexterity. The key is dexterity. So, dexterity, and it's also in the, in the neutral good position on the card. See, so if we follow it, it would be lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, and so on and so on. So we got the cricket, right? We got the cricket. Go to our rule book. We got a section in here that tells you each card and what it does. So go in here, find our section for dexterity. We find the cricket. The cricket is a grig, a creature whose mind is as quick as its body. It represents speed and quick passage. Although the cricket is commonly associated with travel, the peach it sits by represents treasure at the end. If misaligned, the journey will go poorly, and the treasure will be one that is lost rather than found. So, each card has its meaning. Each card has its match when it would come out in the Harrow. So, you can see how this is going to get complicated is each card has a meaning. Each card has a layout within the Harrow. Each card can be aligned properly or misaligned based on it. So you gotta really be creative when you're doing this. So let's say, for example, I've set it out, and we're just going to keep with the cricket since I read it to you. So we know that the cricket is a neutral good position. So let's just say that comes up. We got all our cards laid out, and then we flip over the neutral good position, and there's the cricket. So the cricket is in a positive present situation. So as a DM, my players are keeping in mind their original question. Am I going to survive this battle in a duel against somebody? Let's keep with that question as well. Cricket says it's a journey. There's treasure at the end. How can I turn treasure in the end to surviving a duel? Positive present. Well, okay, present. Let's say in the campaign that he just got lots of treasure. Positive present, I can say as I flip it over, the cricket, it's in a well-aligned position. You've recently stumbled upon a lot of treasure and wealth. If the cricket's position would determine that your journey is well is going to be well involved, and it's going to come out in your favor due to the treasure that you have currently found. And then, aha, the player automatically thinks, oh yeah, because of this treasure that I just got, the cards say that I can do this, you know. And maybe that encourages them to go buy a better sword or armor, and then that is what will help them, you know, in the duel to come. So you can see how this is going to quickly become complicated. And it has, I will say, the Harrow deck has a steep learning curve, because we're talking 54 cards here that all have meanings if they're put in the spot where their symbol is found when they are read in the cards, or they have a different meaning if they're in an opposite position. So the learning curve is a little steep with this kind of product, but if you can master it, I can see it used very well in a lot of campaigns for any kind of situation. Take, for example, let's say that players were going to be defending a keep, and they wanted to do a Harrow to see, you know, how their defenses will hold. So you can do a Harrow like that and say, you know, well, character found out that, you know, the defenses on the left side might crumble because of one of the cards. Like the cricket says, the journey will go bad. So they have an escape route planned because they know that things might go badly, and that sets it up for you as a DM to make things more complicated. There's a lot of story involvement that you can really throw in from these cards. It really helps in, you know, character, not only I think character development, but it could also help in character creation. Imagine a character whose whole life has been focused on these cards. They don't do anything without first reading these cards, making sure that their future is, you know, going to go well, or omens and that sort of thing. So this deck is very complicated. It has great artwork, but unfortunately, like I said, you know, backside not so great. Good side, bad side. Has a steep learning curve. Instruction manual is kind of small, so it has some small print. So yeah, it's pretty small. You gotta get really close to the screen for you to even see that, what that even says. So a little small print, but that's okay, you know, if you can feel like you can read that stuff. It's kind of got a steep learning curve, but I'd still give it an overall, you know, good byproduct if you really want to include divinations and those kinds of things in your game. Almost forgot, you can also play a card game that is included in the back. It's called Towers, and what it does is it's a gambling game where you have, literally, here in this little diagram, that's how Towers is played, and you build up towers and then try to take them down out of the cards and their alignments, and each alignment's worth a certain number of points, and you know, it's just another little game that you can have as a mini game. So it's interesting, you know, it has different mechanics that you can use for it. It's not just a one-trick pony. You can use it multiple times, multiple different ways. Use it as story elements, character elements. You know, it's a good product. You know, I just wish that the backside would be something other than the front cover that they put on the box. So as it says, you know, prepare to get harrowed. I would have to give this a 3.5 out of 5, just for the fact that learning curve is steep. So if you don't want to take a lot of time and you really just wanted to throw something in, this is not the product for you. So that knock it down a point, and then I'd knock it off another point because the artwork on the back, it takes you out of what I would constitute is the realism or immersion for the game. I mean, for me, I don't think a Harrow deck would really have a back like this. I mean, even if you look at, if I can get this up here without the glare, look at the back of the card she's holding. If this is supposed to be a Harrow card, it's different. I would expect something like that. I mean, that just might just be me, but I'm going to have to just give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's a good product. I'm going to be using it. I think I'm going to use it in my campaign coming up for school, so players should be on the lookout for that. If you have any other questions about the Harrow product, you know, just let me know. Paizo website, it's right there. 3.5 out of 5. This has been Derek, Lycan 101, with my first Pathfinder product review the Harrow Deck, the divination deck and card game. And as it says, prepare to get harrowed.